Most early civilizations were located near river valleys. Near all of the river valleys, there was an abundant supply of water, nutritious soil, and a place that could provide a home for plants and animals. The major civilizations that developed from 3000 to 2000 BCE were Mesopotamia, Egypt, India, and China. Mesopotamian civilizations were located between the Tigris and Euphrates River. The first major Mesopotamian civilization was Sumer. The main developments were cuneiform, a form of writing, enhanced trade, a 12-month calendar, and a math system. Trade was enhanced with the development of the wheel, taking less time to transport goods. The next important group were the Babylonians, who united all of Mesopotamia. They had a legal code called the Code of Hammurabi. This dealt with major and minor offenses and was the first time everyone was required to follow the law. The next civilization that developed was Egypt. The Egyptian civilizations were concentrated along the lower reaches of the Nile River. They had an interest in astronomy and thus created a fairly reliable calendar. They were polytheistic and focused especially on the afterlife. Their kings, pharaohs, were worshipped as gods. The third main river valley civilization was the Indus Valley civilization. The Aryans then arrived and conquered the Indus people. They established a strong belief in reincarnation, which is evident in Hinduism nowadays. They were also polytheistic and recorded their beliefs and traditions in the Vedas and Upanishads. The last river valley civilization was China. The first dynasty of China was the Shang dynasty. China was very isolated and only had contact with Mesopotamia. Because they were isolated, this led to the idea of ethnocentrism in China. However, they were very accomplished people. The Chinese were successful bronze workers, used horse-drawn chariots, developed the spoked wheel, were experts in pottery and silk, devised a decimal system, and a highly accurate calendar. The Zhou dynasty was the second Chinese dynasty. At this point, the Chinese government was organized by bureaucracies.
In 321 BCE, a new empire rose. Soon it would become the largest empire in India. It was founded by Chandragupta. Then, after his grandson, Ashoka expanded the Mauryan Empire to its greatest heights. One reason why the empire was so powerful and wealthy was because of trade. They traded silk, cotton, and elephants. The empire also had a powerful military. It was the military strength that eventually caused a dramatic change in the empire. Ashoka then converted to Buddhism because of wanting to be at peace. He was also known for his rocks and pillar edicts, which was carved in rocks and pillars throughout the empire. These messages on the pillars reminded the Mauryans to live generously and righteous lives. After his death, the empire started to decline rapidly due to economic problems and attacks from the northeast. However, between 375 and 415 CE, it experienced a revival under Chandragupta II, known as Chandragupta the Great. This empire was known as the Golden Age, even though it was smaller than the Mauryan Empire. This was a peaceful empire, and there was significant advances in art and sciences. There was the development of pi and number system. By the time of the Gupta dynasty, Hinduism had begun to be the dominant religion in India. This reinforced the caste system, and social structure became rigid. The Gupta dynasty collapsed under pressure from the White Huns.
Classical China began with the unification of feudal kingdoms under the Qin dynasty. Its first and only emperor was Qin Shi Huang. He's most notable for the construction of the Great Wall of China, terracotta army, and standardization of laws, currencies, and systems of writing. He accomplished all of this by ruling with an iron fist via legalism. The fundamental belief of this political philosophy is that human nature is inherently evil and must be kept in line by a tight, centralized government. The main impact this had on the Qin dynasty is it allowed them to quickly consolidate power through fear and force, yet it's the same brutality that will quickly lose their popularity and collapse the regime. To succeed the Qin is China's golden age, the Han dynasty. Their first emperor, Wu Ti, is notable for extending China's borders the furthest they had ever seen. The Silk Road also grew in its significance during this time. This allowed the spread of major inventions such as paper, compass, calendars, and sundials, as well as ideas in religions such as Buddhism, Taoism, and Confucianism. Founded by Lao Tzu, Taoism focused on disengaging from worldly affairs to find harmony with nature. This added to the unique identity of China. To counter this inactivism, there was Confucianism. Led by Confucius, the main focus was to restore an orderly society based on political and social order. This aided in the spread, allowing those who believed in religions to also follow the Confucian philosophy. This widespread impact led to the establishment of the civil service exam, leading to a highly skilled bureaucracy and stability. However, the stability ended with Wang Mang. During his rule, war required unwilling conscription and heavy taxation, increasing outrage. On top of these tensions, there were famines and floods. Finally, the Han Dynasty collapsed in 220 CE, thus ending classical China.
The three primary Mediterranean empires were Persia, Greece, and Rome. Persia was established first and was initially led by Cyrus the Great. They believed in tolerance and allowed many different cultures to coexist. Persia had an extensive road system that connected the large empire from east to west. Greece, however, was a collection of city-states, the primary ones being Athens and Sparta. Their political structure was a democracy where all free males participated in civic decisions. Athens experienced the golden age of Pericles, where they focused on theoretical math, science, and art. Philip of Macedon soon invaded Greece, however, and defeated the city-states because of internal disorder. The Macedonian Empire spread Greek culture throughout its empire, and this unified culture became known as Hellenism. In Rome, the achievements were more practical than in Greece. Architecture was advanced, and Romans preserved cultures in the form of textbooks. Initially, Rome was organized as a republic, but after Caesar, it became an empire. There was peace for about 400 years called the Pax Romana, because nearly all of the world at the time, besides China and India, was connected under one code of law. Rome eventually fell, partly because of internal disarray and invasions, but also partly because the Emperor Constantine created a second capital at Constantinople, and this split the Roman Empire into two. While Byzantine, the Eastern Roman Empire, stayed alive, the western half fell in 476 CE.
It is important to note even the minor civilizations of the classical period. In North Africa, a kingdom known as Kush formed. It was similar to Egypt in East hieroglyphic writing. They conquered Egypt in 750 BCE, but were soon defeated by Aksum in 300 BCE, followed by Ethiopia. Ethiopia developed its own branch of Christianity and became the longest monarchy ever to exist. Northern Europe was backwards until the year 1000 CE and was made up of loose kingdoms developed by Germanic peoples. This region had no writing system, primitive agriculture, and polytheistic religion. Japan was an isolated, mountainous region. As indicated by the major religion, Shintoism, the people there heavily emphasized ancestor worship. It was in 400 CE that tribal chiefs were put in place and a writing system developed from Korea. Relations with China were in their beginning stages by the end of the classical period. One civilization that developed in Mesoamerica was Teotihuacan. It had an intensive labor force that worked on temples and agriculture, as well as a polytheistic religion. It declined in 700 CE due to attacks by nomads from the north. Also in Mesoamerica were the Mayans. They had a writing system and a calendar based on recurring cycles. Culturally, they had a polytheistic religion